unmute yourself, ask your question very quickly, and then mute yourself again. Thanks very much. And we will start with the first question from Sadi, please.
Hi, Navid. With our seam attack not being with so many injuries, you think the best form of attacking against New Zealand and the best form of going for a win against them is with the spin?
Well, we have to think about it and probably have a look at the wicket, and that's a call that we have to make.
And what do you think? I mean, the combination could be in the sense that now that you, I mean, either against Australia, what is that what you all got out of that match for today's game?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't.
Yeah, what is it that you got out of the game against Australia for today's match?
Yeah, of course. Batting wise, I thought we batted pretty well on a wicket that had a lot of movement and a lot of help for fast bowlers, and we were still probably 10-15 runs short. We should have made 165 to 70 at least on the way we're going. It was, unless for the collapse in the last couple of overs, we lost probably about 4 to 5 wickets for 60 odd runs in the last 6 overs, I would say. And if not for that, I believe that we could have looked for a total somewhere around 165 to 170. And that's one of the learning for us moving forward as a batting unit. And I think bowling wise, it was unfortunate that Binura Fernando pulled a hamstring, and we were short of bowlers, and the Australians knew exactly the issues that we had, that the captain was trying to make up bowlers by bowling their 6th and the 7th bowlers. So they came out with a strategy of attacking one of our main bowlers at that point. So that was unfortunate, I would say. And if we continuously think about bowling discipline and bat as well as we did in the last game, I think that's where we want to be.
One last question. How do you rate the New Zealand side? I mean, knowing that, I mean, they played and the way they played against Australia in the opening game. I mean, and what are the strong points and the weak points that you have sort of found from their side?
Well, obviously they're one of the top sides in the world, and we rate them pretty highly. And when you come to a World Cup, and when you're in a group which has Australia, New Zealand, England, Afghanistan, you know that any of the matches that you cannot take easy. So we are prepared for it, and we know exactly what we need to do if we need to put ourselves there in the semi-finals, and we are up to it, and we'll try to play our best cricket and try to give every chance for us to get qualified into the semi-finals.
Okay, thank you. Next questions from Rex, please.
Navid, obviously, you got to do at least one change leading into tomorrow's game. Have you sort of made a decision as to who's going to be? Would it be right to say that Kasun Rajitha is the most likely person to come in for Binura Fernando?
We haven't made a decision on that yet, as yet.
Also, Navid, on I mean, so many injuries that you're carrying. Altogether 6 guys have got injured in the World Cup. Any reason as to such that you guys figured out why this keeps occurring?
I guess that's something that we have to go back to and sit down and figure out why this has happened and what's the best solution that we can take on that. We haven't had time to sit down and find solutions right now on the long term of what is going on, but we are trying to field the best 11 in the field as much as possible by replacing the injured players right now.
Your top order, obviously, Navid has fired, and quite a few guys are in good nick. You'd be hoping that the middle order, the likes of Dasun Chanaka and Barnaku Rajapaksha, they'll come amidst the runs as well. If that happens, you basically got all bases covered.
Yeah, exactly. See, if you look at all the games that we played, the top order has batted through, and there was very little overs at the end for the late order and the middle order, and we need them to come up, put their hands up at the right moment. Although they are short of overs, and there are very minimum number of overs for them to go out there and show what they can do. I think they will come up. It's nothing to say that they're out of form or they're out of nick or anything like that. But I think when the moment rises, they'll definitely come into the game and show us what they can do.
Okay, and we will now move to Andrew McGlashan, please.
Thanks. Hi there. And just to go back to Rex's question on the number of injuries, and you're coming off a defeat to Australia, just how is the spirit in the team? Does this growing list of injuries, does it make it quite difficult to keep the morale high in the team at the moment?
Not exactly. This is something that we cannot control, and I think it's an opportunity for a new guy to come in and play. And the spirits are pretty high. We hopes are still there for us to, our opportunities to make it to the semifinals. So we are all very well motivated and still, looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
You're coming here to Sydney now. This has looked the best batting pitch of the tournament so far. We've had 2 scores of 200 in the first innings here so far. Is that going to need to adjust your game plan at all? Do you think you're going to need to be maybe a bit more aggressive early on to try and get that higher total in this game, particularly if you're batting first?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it's a good batting wicket and a faster outfield, obviously the runs are there for taking. And we need to go with a different game plan on a pitch like this.
And Sri Lanka also played, I think it was a couple of games here on the tour of Australia earlier this year. I mean, I know generally a lot of the players will have played on some of the venues before, but is it good to come back to a ground where you've got some recent experience? Do you think you can take some learnings from those games you played back in February?
Yeah, exactly. I think Sydney is a very much favorable venue for Sri Lanka. It has been throughout the years, and we are looking forward to this game against New Zealand.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll just welcome any more questions. If you want to raise your hand, doesn't look like we've got any more. Okay, great. So that concludes the press conference. Thanks very much for your time, Navid, and thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.